last but not least, we have Professor Dr. Robert Young. He's going to talk with a sort of a funnily worded kind of title. It's Dumb's Approach to Innovation, but I think it's going to be more like a smart approach. So let's hear from him, Dr. Robert Young.
Okay. Right, you can hear me, you can see me well?
Yeah, we can hear you, yes, go on.
Okay, sure. Right, so my philosophy, I'm an inventor, right? So I'm going to talk about my perception of all this, all these Raymond Sugar 3 or 4 or 5, right? So from a perspective, from an inventor, right? My philosophy is think without the box, right? Maybe think outside the box, and maybe our Revolution 3 life. This should be a more, more little bit advanced, right? Okay, if you think outside the box, what does it mean? Right, okay. My name is Robert. Basically, I'm an inventor. I've been inventing for the last 30 years. One of my earliest invention was a machine that makes rubber stamps. As you know that, all offices, they use rubber stamps. To make rubber stamps, you need to go to the shops, right? And the conventional of making rubber stamps is that the maker, they have to compose, arrange the letters A, B, C, D, they make a plaster mold, burn the rubber, It's very tedious, very slow. Sometimes even takes you a week actually to make a stamp, right? So my innovation is to make the rubber stamp in 5 minutes, right? So basically, so all these bookstores where they previously they only take orders and pass the order to the rubber stamp maker, they actually able to make it themselves. The machine is small, maybe the size of your laptop, right? So this is one of my earliest invention. And my current project which I'm working on is a water filter, which is together my wife and me, we created a kind of device. It's a very simple device. It's actually a cap, a small cap, where you put onto a Coke bottle, a Pepsi bottle, and you put the dirty water inside the bottle, and you use a pump, a very simple bicycle pump. You pump pressure into the bottle to force the water out through a filter, right? As you know, a lot of these refugee camp or these rural communities, you can say Africa, India, or Cambodia, all these Indo-Chinese countries, they have water. They have no problem with water, right? It's clean water, right? And they can buy a filter, of course, but they do not have water pressure, which this device, this filter machine will not work without pressure, unless you have to build maybe a pressure tank, very high tank, maybe 10 feet, 20 feet above the ground for the gravity fall. So this, of course, a lot of costs involved, a lot of, this is something difficult, right? So what we created is very simple. Maybe you can later go to my website, infinity.com, you can see some of the things. Right. So actually this device, we even deploy it to the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, in Syria, in Yemen, all this other from the third world country. Right? Simple and practical. This is my approach. Right? So throughout the years, I won many awards. Not to brag about it, but it's okay. I think we skip this. Right? Okay. My dumb approach. What does this mean, dumb approach? As an inventor, so a lot of other young inventors, I call them inventors, So because I also give a lot of talks, I give a lot of lectures to universities where they have their own, innovation department, right? So many of these young inventors, they will start to approach me. Wow, all of them will have ideas, great ideas, right? And the problem is that all of them will think that the idea is the best in the world. Every inventor thinks that idea is the best, right? We cannot tell them, no, this is no good. They will think that we try to sabotage them or try to, degrade them. This is what we do not want to do. Right? So the best thing, I come up with this approach where they can use this questionnaire to actually question themselves whether their ideas, the innovation is a practical, is a doable type thing, right? So you see, to me, it's not about going for the high reaching fruit or the low hanging fruit, there, right? We must go, right, for the reachable fruit, something you can reach. Example, like if you are 5 feet tall, you don't dream of become a basketball player. Not, and you can, but the chances of you survive, they could be slimmer, right? So you can actually do something, maybe you can play golf or play something else. It's okay, right? So you must actually evaluate yourself that you must be realistic in life. As inventor, you must be realistic. That's why you see a lot of inventors, they always die as a pauper. They die poor because they got big dreams, too big. Sometimes the dream is too big, right? Which is not doable. So, okay, we are starting with this. What is the dance? The first thing, we have to ask them, they got ideas. First answer, first question they should ask themselves, is it doable? Can it be done? Some are doing something, yes, it can be done. Japan have done it, America have done it, Russia have done it. But I think you are not Japan, you're not America, you cannot do, right? So it must be something that you can do, right? Maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have the connection, which you can go through the government, all these laws and regulations. There's a lot of things for a product, whether it's product is service product or tangible product, it doesn't matter, right? So to make it happen, it must be doable, and doable must be you. Right? This is the first thing which we have to, pastoral, right? The second thing, of course, you, it must be usable, right? See, a lot of especially the university students, they come out with, prototype. Sometimes it's so good. You can make an example, you can make a pencil 6 feet long, 6 feet tall. You can write, but it can be used. So it's not practical, right? So they have to go through all this. Must be doable, must be usable, right? Example, if today our handphone is still as big as your suitcase, I don't think it will be popular because it's not practical. Usable is it works, but it's not usable, right? So I have to go through it. And the next one is an M. Of course, most important, it must be marketable, right? So, of course, they can claim that, oh, their product is good, everybody wants it. But are people willing to pay for it? You give free. You see that McDonald's give free, people queue. But if you ask them to pay, nobody pay. Right? You can sell one to the auntie or sell one to the uncle. But this is not marketing. Right? So you must be marketable. Then people are willing to buy, people will spend, people pay for it. Marketable. And the next one, it must be bankable. What do you mean bankable? Bankable means there must be value where you make profit, right? Where investors are coming to you, say, okay, I'm going to invest 10 million in you, and we grow together, we make 1 billion and share. This is very important. Your product is bankable. If your product is not have a bankable value, your project will never grow, right? It's something like our, Malaysian have the graph, because of the investor, not that the idea is so good or so great, but because of investors who believe in it. So it must be bankable. Next one, it must be sustainable. You can see a lot of products, a lot of projects. For the first 6 months, wow, everybody talk about it, especially multi-level type thing. The first 6 months, they swear by the grandfather, this is the best product in the world. You're going to be rich, right? But how long have they last? So our product, it must be the Panadol, it must be the Coca-Cola, right? It must sell long. For 100 years, they're still there. It must be sustainable. Even sustainable is not just a product. The marketing, your entrepreneurship, that thing, everything must be there. So it must be a product which has a sustainable value. This is sustainable. What about this? Use the dump approach. Ask them to develop their own ideas to see where it goes, pass through or not. Right? So, okay, even as you pass through, right, it's like running a gauntlet. As you run through, people knock you, they criticise you, right? Then it goes through. Right? So the thing is that invention or product innovation is not so simple. Even if you can go through all these people and you're still alive, it does not guarantee you success. Maybe I don't like your face, I don't like you. So there's still a lot of things. So invention is not that easy. Right? So before you start, before you actually begin of the project, you have to evaluate yourself, think of all the risks, think of all the possibility that it can go wrong. You know, to think of the right thing is whether you say I'm going to be rich or not, everybody loves my thing. But if you think of the bad thing, then you're able to, to eliminate one of the chances of you being a failure. To me, as an inventor, I believe that we must be realistic. We can have big dreams, right? But to survive. So you see, I judge a lot of competition also. In Malaysia, we have a lot of this invention competition, So when we judge it, most of the entries come from universities. So also then they think, oh, this is the greatest thing, this is the latest thing, this is the first in Malaysia, this is, these are the things they do not realize let's say the market value of the thing, right? So I think maybe, I don't know, maybe you can use this, this approach when you talk to, when your students is having a project or something new, they should think about it. You cannot let them start on the wrong foot. So you see, it's like having a baby. When it's small, you don't have so much attachment. Attachment. When the project grows big, they will never let it go. They'll believe this is best. They have spent too much time on it. They become very sentimental. They won't give up. So before they start the project, they should think of this. This is my idea. All right. So maybe the next one will come the question and answers. All right. Thank you very much. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Dr. Robert Young. So essentially, he explained what he meant by that dumps approach. Something must be doable, usable, marketable, bankable, and sustainable. So he spoke purely from the perspective of an inventor and how you can actually, make it work for you. And then this approach can also be used for anything that you come up with from an industry 4 perspective as well.